We're back again with Paul Blom. He's speaking to us not about the SA Horror Fest, but about one of his other festivals, the Celluloid sort of sci-fi, cyberpunk, futuristic, all kinds of
Fantasy, animation, everything that
oh
sort of
yeah.
fits in there.
It's sort of close enough to Horror Fest stuff that it still feels like it's sort of like an extension of that, sort of like the genre blending does kind of work in your favor there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, initially, I think we've mentioned it before. Where how this Celluloid came about was that we ended up getting so many submissions to the Horror Fest that had sci-fi, fantasy leanings, animated stuff that wasn't exactly horror enough, but they were still very cool. That we wanted to utilize them and not just let them
Yeah.
fall away. So we just started the Celluloid Festival. And I don't know if you went to the very first one where we had District 9 was the first show. It was
Yes.
the weekend of the when District 9 actually started. We got cast and crew as well for a Q&A. That was a very cool start to the festival. And that was 2009.
Yeah, I had to think about it now. No, that was the one I missed. I don't know why I missed it. I can't remember a good reason. Um,
Yeah.
but
It was the very first one, but yeah, at least people they definitely gravitated towards District 9. That was still when the Labia Theatre still had the Long Street cinemas as well. That's where we had it.
yes. Wow, that's a callback. That's a long time ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, it was 2009. So
damn.
it's also
Okay.
stepping on just like the Horror Fest.
Yeah, that's when I was still single. I could go watch everything. Like literally every single movie. I remember Sonia giving me a
Yeah.
hard time one year at the Horror Fest. It's like, aren't you gaan jou oogies nie skreefies wees nie.
It was Square Rock. Get the
Yeah, but that
square eyes.
was
Yeah.
that's
No,
that's that's the way to do it.
definitely. Yeah, you only have this stretch of time, so pack them in while you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this one, the Celluloid will be stretching across the 1st to the 10th of December.
Okay.
Initially, we actually had it before the Horror Fest, but uh, just to have it before the Horror Fest, everything we have to put into the Horror Fest is just
That
it's a
that
nightmare.
sounds like courting disaster.
Yeah, so we flipped it till after well, still right on the heels of the Horror Fest, but
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just something we have to do, and we can't let it spill over into next year because then and it's next year, so you
Yeah.
have to cram it in before the year's out. But yeah, no, we've got some as usual. We've got some very interesting movies, and also
Yeah.
like you mentioned with the Horror Fest. I mean, there are movies with kind of horror elements in it as well. So the Horror Fest folks will definitely dig quite a few of the movies. The Friday night, we're doing The Last Boy on Earth. That's the
Okay.
first show. And then Divinity is on Sunday the 3rd. And then Tuesday the 5th is the short film collection, just a sort of a selection of the 3 chapters that are streaming. We pick some out just for the cinema one. And then on the Thursday the 7th is Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Got to do Plan 9 from Outer Space. Um, Yesterday, we also confirmed Dream Scenario. It's a new A24 movie with Nicolas Cage.
That's
He's just
very
kind of
cool.
this regular Joe kind of guy that people start. He starts filtering into people's dreams. People just start realizing, hey, that he's in their dreams, and then things obviously start going a bit very, very strange and weird. And it's actually a comedy as well, and
Okay.
everyone is raving about Nicolas Cage's performance in this. I mean, he's really been,
Oh yes.
since Mandy, he's just like sort of got back into form
Yeah.
with quite a few cool movies. I haven't watched Willy's Wonderland yet. It's on our watch list.
Oh,
Um,
that's quite good.
Renfield was very cool.
Yes.
Did you watch Renfield?
Very
Yeah, that
bloody.
was
I
fun.
love it.
And what's that? What's that one where he's plays himself in the drug? drug kingpin kind of hires him to come stay over. I always forget the movie's name. It was
I
pretty
can't.
good.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, that's very cool. Nicolas Cage doing Nicolas Cage. It's just
Yeah.
it just seems perfect.
And The Color Out of Space as well.
Color Out of
Also
Space,
sort of like a horror science fiction.
Yeah, H.P. Lovecraftian bizarreness. So that was a Richard Stanley movie. But yeah, so we're getting an advanced screening of that. Obviously, all the movies screening at the festival, they're all Africa premieres and South African premieres.
Yeah.
Single show, that's it. So you'll get to see it once. But at least a dream scenario, people might, they'll be able to go see it at other cinemas when it gets released. But we're getting it before its release date. So we're screening that on the last day, the 10th of December.
Excellent.
So that's going to be exciting. But yeah, the first one I mentioned, The Last Boy on Earth, it's a very, very, very cool anthology movie with a couple of different chapters. It's a sort of tied around this mysterious boy sitting in this white room playing with stuff, and it's got a chapter. It's like a Blade Runner tribute.
Okay.
So it's set right there in the Blade Runner city with they replicate stuff like the noodle bar, all of the neon signs, those video ads across the city, and that the Off-World Colonies ad.
Okay.
That's actually the story is connected to that, but they call it off islands, I think they call it. Not the Off-World Colonies, off-world islands. So this it's the guy that needs to get cash together to buy a ticket to get out of there. And it's not an easy task for him to do that, but it's very well replicated. It looks great, and then there's another kind of more of a horror telekinetic kind of strange story.
Okay.
And another one about like it's almost like it's kind of like a mixture of Black Mirror episodes. But, but very well done. It doesn't feel cheap or crappy. And there's another one about it's like a kind of a future sort of matching app that the government sets up that plots out whether you'll match up with another person. And then this guy drops his thing in the bath and he's shocked, and then he sort of goes through these weird cycles and he meets this girl, and then the app says no, they can't. And then he just keeps going back to try and recreate this. It's a very, very interesting little scenario. And so it's about six different stories. Very, very cool. Nice. Mixture of action and just all kinds of interesting futuristic scenarios. And then we're doing the on the Sunday. Yeah, this is one of them. I mean, they're all great, but sometimes it is some movies that stand out as the main ones, like it would be Dream Scenario and The Last Boy on Earth, and especially Divinity.
Yes,
it's executive produced by Steven Soderbergh. Everyone should know who that is. So it's got some weight to it. It's a black and white movie. It's strange. It's crazy. It's definitely not for kids. It is far out. It is, like some people call it, a black and white acid trip. It's Stephen Dorff, who was the main bad guy in the first Blade movie. His dad started developing this kind of a serum, and he sort of takes it to the next step where it like enhances your mind and your body and everything, so to turn you into like this kind of, it's like this immortality kind of a quest. But then he gets kind of not abducted, but sort of held hostage in his own home by these two strange brothers. Well, they seem to be brothers, and they kind of stick him on a drip with his own divinity serum, and things just get very extreme. So yeah, it's a very sexy movie. It's a very disturbing movie. It's the last couple of years you haven't seen anything like it, unless it's a sort of obscure underground indie movie. But this movie's got some money in it. It's got some weight to it. It's got some, it's great and crazy on all levels. So it's it's definitely not to be missed. If you miss this, it's going to be you'll kick yourself. Especially because one cinema show, that's the only chance you're going to get. No one's going to release it, believe me. And it's also one of these movies that it wasn't cheap to get, so we definitely want people to come watch it so that we can at least break even on it. Utopia, it's a distribution company in New York. They're doing the distribution. It's got Steven Soderbergh attached to it. It's not unknown people. And they need to charge a screening fee when it gets done. I did negotiate them a little bit, but it's still dollars. Oh, I tell you, dollar exchange rate. It never gets good, man.
No.
So we decided we're going to bite the bullet because it's just we just have to have it. So we definitely encourage people not to go watch it because of that reason, but because it's going to be one of the wow movies they saw this year. It's way out there.
It's more of a testament to how much you liked the film and how much you wanted to show it.
Yeah. And we always have to, just like the Horror Fest, we like all those strange little weird movies, but we must have some, flagship movie that's sort of, that no one can complain about. So, or at least say that that was quite something. So it's cool movie. Have to go see it. And then the Tuesday, the 5th? Tuesday the 5th, then it's going to be the Celluloid Short Film Collection. Again, a mixture of movies from all over the world. It's got animation in there. It's got live action. Just a very, very cool batch of movies that you wouldn't get to see anywhere else. Just like with the Horror Fest. And actually some of the Horror Fest spillovers, like I told you, the reason we started the Celluloid, there were some movies that were more sci-fi than not. And then we kind of threw them over from the Horror Fest side. And there are a couple there that we actually really loved that would fit in this as well, that we did have at the Horror Fest. So if you watch all of them, you'll just see a couple that you did see at the Horror Fest. And if you missed them at the Horror Fest, you've got the chance to actually now see them. So it's a double whammy.
And if
it was a nice batch we had for the Horror Fest, and it's equally a very cool futuristic science fiction animation fantasy blend of all kinds of interesting stuff. And then we've got on the Thursday, Plan 9 from Outer Space. Gotta do it. I think we skipped it last year, because we tried to do it every year. Kind of, it's like the Celluloid is like the Horror Fest Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's that's the Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's we just want to encourage people just to come check this out for themselves at least once, just to enjoy the B movie splendor, Yes, I mean,
and to see the continuity errors in stark relief.
It is brilliant. It's so brilliant. It's like it's one of the first so bad it's good movies. I mean, that's for years it's been touted as the worst movie ever made, but it's to me it's definitely one of the classic so bad it's good ones, and it's so much more fun when you watch it with a bunch of people. And so we're going to try and pull everyone in there for that. And then like I mentioned earlier, then the Sunday we close the festival with Dream Scenario, Nicolas Cage. So you can't go wrong with, if you just need to tell people Nicolas Cage and A24, then they should already go, okay, cool, here we come. If you attended any other Celluloid shows or the streaming, just show them your Quicket ticket, and then you'll get your popcorn and your drinks for free.
Oh, nice.
At the show. If you arrive in your PJs and your pajamas, then you get your drinks, your popcorn and your drink for free as well. Okay. So if you haven't, you can do both as well. So just for the fun of it, get dressed up in your PJs, and if you've seen a Celluloid movie, you can just either way you can decide which of those you want to use to score your free refreshments. So that's the guys at Empire. At Empire, they're distributing it. They added that for us, so that's very cool of them to cover cover the drinks and the snacks for
Yeah,
everybody.
that's very cool. So that's just for dream sequence?
Dream scenario.
Dream scenario. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't try
Yeah,
and pull
it'll
that
be
trick with all the other movies.
no. You can pitch in your jams if you want to, but you're not going to get you're not going to get free drinks and snacks for the other shows. Just Dream Scenario on the 10th of December.
You're not gonna get
And
free
then
shit.
obviously the streaming section that's running from the 1st to the 10th.
Yeah.
And there we've got 3 short film chapters.
Yeah.
With the whole, oh man, I don't even know where to start with these. It's just so much cool stuff. You can just, if you go to, we'll be listing all the movies with their details on celludroid.net as well, so you can go just check out all the details there, or on the Quicket page for Celludroid. We'll have all the movie details, and we'll probably do a little trailer with some of the short clips as well.
Okay.
But people, I mean, obviously with the short, people don't always make a trailer for the short, but we've got quite a few of those, so we'll probably compile something just so people can get an idea of what they'll be missing out on if they don't. To even have like a little documentary short, sort of a hypothetical interview with a sex robot. If the sex robot was conscious, kind of asking these experts questions on its being and its reason for being, and how people perceive it, and how it's developed, and where it's going. So it's it's a interesting little future glimpse.
Yeah.
And some fantastic animation, sort of regular 2D and some CGI kind of animation. Interesting story, sort of nice, cutesy little animation things as well. Not just all hectic, crazy, futuristic kind of animation, science fiction stuff. So some fantasy sort of stuff that sort of people are more into, sort of board games and things will like as well. So it's a very, very nice spread of shorts. So then the only movie that is screening in cinema that's also streaming is The Last Boy on Earth.
Yeah.
So if you miss it in cinema on the first Friday, the 1st of December, you can catch up on it on the streaming chapter.
Yeah.
And then we also have a movie called Isaac.
Yes.
It's about a couple. They lose their kid, and then they meet up with this genetic modification company to sort of make a kid, and things don't go so well. So that's one of the movies that have kind of a horror fest leanings. So that's a good one to check out if you prefer your sci-fi to have a bit of a horror flavor. And then Divinity showing on the Sunday. That's got some horror elements. It even has some strange kind of fucking manga anime type, like stop animation bit in there. It's just it's a noir movie. It's a cult movie. It's an acid trip. It's like it's a mush of all kinds of cool stuff. But and then another one we have is on the streaming chapter is CORA.
Yes,
it's like a futuristic dystopian apocalyptic thing with a woman, and she's in this. It's like a company that's trying to fix up this strange mist came over the planet and just sort of kills everyone off. And this woman is in one of these kind of like labs, and she needs to go out and find out what's going on, and starts encountering people who are not too friendly, and trying to get to the bottom of what she's doing and why she's doing it. That's a cool one. ANIMA, that's a very interesting one from CORA is a Swedish movie, and ANIMA is a Mexican movie. It's a guy, he sort of encounters this doppelganger, and it's this strange kind of a time switch where him and his brother kind of flip characters, and it's a weird. It's not exactly David Lynch-ish, but it gets that feeling when when different people start playing different roles, and this guy starts figuring out that there's something very strange going on in the world, and something else is kind of in control and running things
Yeah.
without giving anything away. So it's also a very interesting one. I think that's it's 4 feature films and 3 short film collections on the streaming, and then we have 5 cinema shows. Yeah, that's it. Much tighter than the Horror Fest's huge batch of stuff. So it's probably for some people be easier to digest within 10 days. Like the Horror Fest, you have to watch like 2 movies a day if you want to cram them all in.
Yeah, no. I mean, at least with a Celluloid, there's a chance you can watch all of them.
Yeah,
like even
definitely.
I'm a pretty dedicated cinema goer when it comes to festivals like this, but I think there were 3 movies at the Horror Fest this year that I missed.
Is it only bad. 3? No,
that's
bad, but that's. No.
I would have liked the movies I missed. I would have liked to have seen. It's generally the case.
Yeah. And then it's a case of where are you going to find them now, unless they end up on because sometimes you can you can like rent them on Amazon, but I don't know if you can do it if you're in South Africa, and if it's just in the States.
Like a lot of those places, like, oh, you can watch this movie. Oh no, not you.
Nah.
Not you.
Pay extra and rent it, then you can see it. And then, oh no, sorry, in South Africa you can't do it. We also now still it took a while to get it sorted. Needed to get from our international jury members to get all the scores. We actually wanted to announce the Horror Fest category winners yesterday, but it'll probably only be tomorrow. But now tomorrow's my birthday, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff tomorrow.
Whose
so I'm
birthday?
going to have to squeeze it in somewhere tomorrow.
Whose birthday? Your
Mine.
birthday.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be doing too much work tomorrow, so I have to get everything done tonight.
Well, happy birthday for tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Yes, I won't say I'll be loafing tomorrow, but I'm not going to be doing as much as I do every day.
Yeah. No.
So,
I'm hoping you're doing at least an hour's worth of loafing.
Yeah, I'll do an elf. I'll get up an hour later. That'll probably be the better option. For the streaming, we're gonna have a full festival pass as well.
Yeah.
Like peanuts. I think it's like $175 or something for like the full thing, and like I don't know, 25 or 34 single movies for the streaming. So that's like, man, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And all the tickets I think are available.
People can definitely not complain that it's too expensive. They can't use that excuse.
No.
They can say, well, they're too busy. Okay, fine, we will take the word for it, but they can't say it's too expensive.
Yeah, I think at this point the only film that isn't on Quicket is Dream Scenario.
I'm still. We only got the confirmation. We got the confirmation yesterday. The Labia Theatre had to put the request in, so they send them the DCP and the KDM keys to unlock the thing. So I'm making the ticket tonight. So tomorrow it'll definitely be on the Quicket page, and upload the trailer, the movie trailer, and all that as well.
Cool. You're giving everybody else a birthday present, the opportunity to watch this movie.
Yes. It looks like such a cool movie. We haven't seen it. We'll only be watching it ourselves on the Sunday the 10th. So we'll definitely do a review of that afterwards. So
excellent.
We'll be seeing it for the first time with everybody.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hearing how the films from the Horror Fest made out in terms of like the jury scores and which films came out ahead. I know I've got a couple of favorites.
Yeah, it's so different. It's so weird, man. When I saw like what the international guys, what their favorites are, what our favorites were, some of them sort of mesh over, and then sometimes like ones that you didn't actually expect. So it's going to be interesting to now get the average of everything in there and sort it out. I also forgot to say, just like with the Horror Fest, our friends at Penguin Books, I think they might be sending us some books that fit Celluloid more than the books that we do for the Horror Fest, which is more thriller horror modular kind of things. So it might be some sci-fi fantasy kind of books that we'll be getting to give the audience for that.
Okay.
And also waiting to hear from if the Disney Plus guys will be giving away some Disney Plus streaming subscriptions as well. So we'll have to wait and see about that, but you'll definitely see it on our social media and the website if you want to know whether you'll be able to score those again. And we have a few that we will be giving some of the ticket holders at our fest, the streaming guys. People got tickets. They got this streaming subscriptions prizes at the actual screenings. But we kept a few back that we'll be giving to people who did the streaming. So we'll be doing that sort of either just before or just after we make the Horror Fest category winner announcements.
I mean, there's some interesting science fiction classics hiding away on Disney Plus if you go looking for it. There's the old version of Journey to the Center of the Earth, which I think is the last thing we watched before our subscription ended.
Okay.
But that was quite fun to watch because it ends with basically a fight between there's two lizards, but it's basically just like two ordinary like household lizards basically having a fight, and it's just like bless.
Like superimposed with like all they used to stick these kind of little like rubber fins on there. Oh man. But I remember I saw that years ago. I saw that years ago. They re-released it. I think in the 70s. Lots of those movies we went to see in the cinema. And I remember, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But did they do a remake of that as well?
Yes.
I think they did a few remakes.
They did one with The Rock, I think, a few years ago.
Which one was Will Ferrell was in one of these kind of back into the dinosaur days, but like the comedy version. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, no, I've seen stills and I'd recognize a GIF from it, but didn't actually watch the film. There's something about cavemen.
I remember.
Was it The Rock? I think it might have been.
I don't know. Unless you're getting Jumanji mixed up with it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Jumanji. I think it's the one I'm thinking of is actually with. I'm gonna have to look it up now.
I remember the Will Ferrell one. There's the guy from The Mummy that won the whale actor.
Yes,
he was
that's
in
the one. That's the one. It's It was in 3D, and it was with Brendan Fraser.
What's the title?
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Journey to the Center. Okay.
Not the best version of the film. The special effects were great, but like the story was like.
I can't remember if I've seen it because
it's not memorable. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's so not memorable. I cannot remember if I actually seen it.
But I think it might also be because we watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Hard to keep track sometimes.
And the watch list is long of stuff that I need to catch up on. Because some of the stuff on Tubi and on Amazon, you find some old movies that you missed out on.
Yeah.
That you have to catch up on, and it's just you get to them all. Yeah. Not easy.
And new movies are being made every year, as we see with the short films and all the films that we try to get on for the festivals, and then you can't even get them. You can't get all of them. And then it's like people are complaining like the selection of films that you manage to get, they can't watch all those films. So
and we've also got our Sound on Screen Film Festivals coming up. I think is in April. Am I wrong now? I think April next year. So gonna have to start watching the music related movies for Sound on Screen again soon.
Yeah.
So it's a non-stop mission, but then from there we've got a bit of a gap again between that and the next Horror Fest. So
Yeah, no,
slight breather. And we have to work on some music as well. We didn't do too much music this year for Terminatrix, so all we did was the Macabre Ensemble live soundtrack, which isn't really Terminatrix, but it's got
yeah.
3/4 of the band in there. And then we did a cover version for World Goth Day. We always do a cover version, so we did a Sisters of Mercy cover of Marianne. So it's the only song that we recorded this year. So we have to now maybe do an album next year, or at least an EP or a bunch of singles across the year. So, yeah, lots of stuff we have to do, but we didn't get to. Gotta keep busy.
Keep all of the fires burning at the same time.
And your Nerdverse launch, when did that happen?
So we did a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, we had to publish a podcast episode so that the web designer could actually add it onto the website. But the website's going live on hopefully this weekend with a bunch of updates, and then after that we'll release another podcast episode on the Tuesday, I hope. That's if everything goes according to plan.
So now I can ask you questions about that. So tell people, what is it all about?
Okay, so the podcast is basically it's a friend of mine and I, and we've been playing in a board game group for the last 4 or 5 years. They've been playing very seriously for a number of years. I was sort of catching up, and each of the people in this group have like this huge collection of like really fancy games I've never seen before in my life. And I was like, this is a lot of information to take in. Yard was writing for Nerdverse for the site, and one of the things he ended up doing for us was a series of articles about board game jargon. So all these terms that you find on the boxes or that you hear in video reviews of this is fancy new board game, and then they'll rattle off a whole bunch of jargon, and it's like,
yeah,
the fuck.
Which games are you playing?
So, I mean, the thing is, we're playing a whole range of things. So it's and it depends on player count and like how long do you want the game to be and how complicated are you feeling up to that week. But basically, what the series of articles is basically about all this jargon and making, well, at least sort of having explanations for a whole lot of them. And then we ended up sort of starting to turn that into a book. And then we were like, okay, well, we can't fit everything into the book. So now we've got to like figure out another way of doing, talking through maybe some examples and kind of building it up. And then we're like, actually, this would work very well as a podcast. So now through this whole sort of meandering sort of trek, we've ended up with a podcast. The first one went live on Saturday. Sorry, it's been a bit of it's been a wild ride. So we've had to update the site, we've had to update the branding, we've had to come up with podcast artwork. And basically, like, the episodes are quite short; they're like half an hour long. We've recorded a whole bunch of them. We've been going basically on this project since December last year.
Okay.
So we've got, I think, about 8 episodes ready at this point.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, nice. So if you've ever been confused about what anybody is talking about when they're talking about board games, check it out. Nerdverse Unshuffled.
A friend of ours, Marnus Tradu, they actually developed a board game. It's called Enter the Void, I think.
Okay.
They actually getting it manufactured and everything. Actually, connect you guys. Maybe chat with them. Do an interview with them about it.
Oh no, that'd be great. I mean, there's a couple of up and coming South African board game designers that we want to have a conversation with. There's one person who just recently released a game called Castaways. I've forgotten what the designer's name is now, but it's sort of based on like a Survivor reality show. We're trying to like vote people off. I still need to actually play it, see what it's like. But yeah, it's good to see sort of the local industry kind of growing. It's sort of, I suppose, a little
Yeah.
bit like watching people start submitting short films for the festivals.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's just you just have to do it. Eh?
Yeah.
Get in there and do it.
Yep.
If it doesn't work, then at least you tried. You can't just sit and bitch about it and say, "Hey, man, I
Yes.
coulda, woulda, shoulda." You just have to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you I'm sure you know, like with any of these, any sort of project like this where you are investing a lot of time in, and there isn't necessarily like a big financial payoff at the end. You know, you
Mm.
have to kind of make it worth your while to do
Yeah.
this thing. And part of that is actually trying to make sure that people actually, like, it gets to people, you know. So like doing all the marketing and doing all the interviews and talking to people and like, hey, have you checked this
Yep.
out yet? Have you bought your tickets? Have you downloaded the thing? You know,
Uh,
it's a pain in the ass, but
uh-huh.
otherwise all this work, like, what are you doing it for? You know, if it all just ends up in
Yeah.
void.
Yeah. Fuck, man. It's just the unfortunate nature of it. But yeah, like
Yeah.
you said, I mean, if you if you at least get whatever gratification you get out of it,
Mm.
then at least
Yeah.
at least it's not a waste. If your heart's not in it, then definitely don't bother.
Yes. No, you if it's a passion project, you're gonna have to make sure that your passion lasts the whole way through. Otherwise, it's
Yeah, 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 definitely. We
anyway.
know that very well.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Well, I mean, how many years of Celluloid is this now? It's, I think you
Since
started.
2009.
Yeah. So not quite as long as the Horror Fest, but that's a very good
No,
innings. In fact, the last
yeah,
I remember the last time I saw Plan 9 was actually at the old Labia in Cliff Street still.
is it? Now I'm sure you saw it. I think
Did I? I
you were
can't
at one
remember. It's one of those
you
things
were at
where,
one in Orange Street since then. Yeah. No, you were at after they closed the Long Street one on Cliff
yeah.
Street.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's also maybe one of those ones I've seen too many times to keep track of now.
uh, it's always worth it. It's always worth
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, I think that's the festival, and I mean, I'm
Yep.
really looking forward to it. I love the science fiction side of horror anyway. So having a festival that sort of is geared towards more of the science fiction side of like that whole genre, um, like the, I want to say continuity, but it's like a continuum. It's like the
Yeah.
genre
Yeah.
continuum between fantasy and horror and science fiction. Um,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
also just like horror has all these kind of sub variants within it, like a horror comedy or the same
yeah,
with science fiction. It's got all these kind of different variants of it. It's
yeah,
not just
yeah.
Star Trekish.
Yeah. So like, is this the future? Is this about the past? Is this about the present? Is it about altered
Anything and
state?
everything. Yeah.
You know, there's so much, there's so much to explore. So it's always fun
Yeah.
watching, seeing what filmmakers are up to in the genre.
Yeah. And there's some cool movies. People
Yeah.
definitely check them out.
And for a pittance.
I tell you. I tell you.
But thanks very much, and
Thanks, man. No,
good
thank
luck with
you.
the rest of the organizing, and happy birthday for tomorrow.
Thanks. Thank you.
Um, and yeah, chat to you soon.
Yeah, man. We'll see you. Hopefully, we'll see you at Divinity.
Yes, yes. I think you'll see me at most of these actually.
Excellent. Cool. So,
Cool,
see you then. Thanks,
cool.
man.